Hello and welcome. You should be on page 11 of your Algebra 1 Quarter 3 notebook. In this video, we are going to be putting together all of our exponent rules to simplify expressions completely. Just a quick reminder, we know our expressions are simplified when the coefficients have been simplified. I got to divide 8 and 6 by 2 to get 4/3. We know that all like terms, that same variable, have been combined. All exponents are positive, and we certainly are never going to leave a zero exponent. So let's take a peek. I see a quotient with a power, so I've got to distribute this power. So I have x to the 5 times -1, that's x to the -5 over x to the 3 times -1, x to the -3. I can do a couple of things here. First thing I could do is just get rid of my negative exponents. X to the 5th will go to the denominator, and x to the -3 will go to the numerator. That gets me into a positive state of mind. So I have x cubed over x to the 5th. I can now see that I have a quotient, same base. So I see that my 5 is bigger. I'm going to leave a 1 here on the top, and I have x to the 5 minus 3. And that is simplified to 1 over x squared. So now my expression is simplified. Looking at this next one, in my numerator, I do have to distribute into this product. In my denominator, I also have some distributing to do. So I have 2 distributing the 3, 2 cubed, a to the 2 times 3, which is a to the 6th, and b to the power of 3. I'm going to distribute my 2 now. I have 2 squared, a squared, b to the 3 times 2, which is b to the power of 6. Now I want to look at my similar bases. Look at this. I have 2's. So I know that my 3 is bigger, so I can put 2 to the 3 minus 2 in my numerator. I have a's that are the same in my numerator and denominator. 6 is bigger, so I will have a to the 6 minus 2. And I have b's that are the same base. 6 is bigger, so I'll move this to the denominator, and I have b to the 6 minus 3. Let's do our subtracting. I have 2 to the 3 minus 2, which is 2 to the power of 1, which is 2. A to the 6 minus 2, a to the power of 4, over b to the 6 minus 3, which is b cubed. Let's look at number 3. I do have a power of a quotient, so I have to distribute this 3 to all of my factors in the numerator and to all of my factors in the denominator. It's actually like a power of a quotient and a power of a product combined. So I am going to distribute the 3. I've got 3 cubed, m to the 2 times 3, m to the 6, and n to the 4 times 3, n to the 12, over 2 cubed, m cubed, n to the 3 times 3, which is n to the 9th. I don't have any bases the same in my numerator or in my denominator, so I'm going to use my quotient. 3 cubed and 2 cubed, not the same base. So I'm going to just evaluate those pieces. 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27, and 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. 27 and 8 do not have common factors, so it cannot be simplified further. I have m to the 6 and m cubed. 6 is bigger, so I have m times 6 minus 3. And I have n to the 12, n to the 9th. 12 is bigger, n to the 12 minus 9. And that is going to equal 27 times m cubed, n cubed over 8. And now that expression is simplified. Let's look at our next expression. It looks like I have m, and m. So there's a lot of combining. I am going to combine in my numerator first. So this is m to the 4 plus 2. So that's m to the power of 6 over m to the 7. I'm now going to use my quotient rule and go. I see 7 is bigger, so I have 1 over m the 7 minus 6. And I know 7 minus 6 is 1. That's m to the power of 1. I would not write that exponent of 1, so it's 1 over m. Alrighty, let's look at this next expression and simplify. I don't have any distributing to do. I don't have any common bases in my numerator or in my denominator. So now let's look at my coefficients. I have a 6 and an 18. I know that can be simplified. 6 divided by 6 is 1. I'm not going to put the 1 times in the numerator. So that will simplify to 1. And 18 divided by 6 is 3. So I will put a 3 in the denominator. I look at x to the 7th. That will stay in the numerator. Y to the power of 0. I need to get rid of all powers of 0. This is 1. I do not need to put x to the 7th times 1 because 1 times anything is itself. Z, x to the power of negative 3 will move to the numerator. Y to the 4th will stay in the denominator. Z to the power of negative 2 will move to the denominator, but z to the 9th will move, negative 9 will move to the numerator. Now I have some combining in my numerator. X to the 7 plus 3 is x to the 10th over 3. Y isn't going to be combined, but I have z to the 9th, y to the 4th, and z squared. I now see that I have a common base in the numerator and denominator, so that's going to be x to the 10th. 9 is bigger, so it's 9 minus 2, z to the 7th, over 3y to the 4th. And I am done. Alrighty, we're not going to do number 6. We're going to move right on to number 7 because that's the scientific notation. If I look at number 7, I have got some fraction multiplication. But before I do that, I do want to try to simplify what I've got going on in this fraction and simplify what's going on here. So let's take a look. I've got common bases, negative exponents. Let's try to, I can't simplify my coefficients, so I am going to have the 4 and the 3 remain. I do have r's that are the same. I have r to the 6th, r to the 3rd. 6 is bigger, so that's going to be 6 minus 3, so that'll be r cubed. I've got s's that are the same. I've got 4 in the numerator, that's bigger, 4 minus 2, so I have s squared. And I have a t to the negative 9th and a t to the power of 1 down here. So I'm going to move the 9th down because it's a negative, so we'll move that down. So this will simplify to 4 thirds s squared, r cubed, and t to the 1 plus 9, which is t to the 10th. Alrighty, now I'm going to look at my next. This is a negative. And in this one, I have 12 and 2, right? 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I'm going to keep 6 in my numerator. Then, so that'll simplify to 6. I have an r to the 8th, and I'm going to move my negative down. I have an s, I'm going to move up, and I've got a positive s to the 1 here. And I've got t to the 6th and t to the 11th, which is going to be 11 is bigger, so t to the 11 minus 6 is t to the 5th. Now I want to combine that, so I have times negative 6, s to the 5th, s to the 1st, that's s to the power of 6, over r to the 8th, r to the 12th, that's r, 8 plus 12 is 20, t to the 5th. Okay, now it's time to multiply. This is a positive fraction times a negative fraction. I know a positive times a negative is negative, right? Now I have a 4 times 6 over 3. 4 times 6 over 4 times 6 is 24, and 3 times 1 is 3. I have s squared times s to the 6th. So I did 4 times 6 to get my negative 24, 3 times 1 essentially for my 3. I moved my s's together. Now I'm going to put my r cubed, r to the 20th, t to the power of 10, t to the 5th. I can see that negative 24 divided by 3 is negative 8. So this simplifies. Negative 8, 2 plus 2 is s to the 4th. I'm sorry, I forgot that that was a 6. So that's 2 plus 6. Move that wrong number down there, is s to the 8th. 3 plus 20 is r to the 23rd, and 10 plus 5 is t to the 15th. Alrighty, all of that simplified to that. Let's look at this next one. And I do have some distributing to do, and I have this negative outside the parenthesis. And I just want to remember that this negative outside the parenthesis is like negative 1 times. Now I'm going to distribute my 2. 3 squared. Negative 1 times 2 is y to the negative 2, and 2 times 2 is x to the 4th, times 9 to the negative 2, negative 5 times negative 2, x to the 10th, and 8 times negative 2 is y to the negative 16th. Let's move these in the numerator and denominator. I'm going to get rid of my negative exponents first. So I have negative 1 times 3 squared. This is going to move to the denominator, 9 squared. Okay, now I have y to the negative 2 will move to the denominator. And then I have x to the 4th, it stays, and x to the 10th stays. And y to the negative 16th moves to the denominator. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, factors. Alrighty, it looks like I have some combining I can do. I can combine my x's. So I now have negative 1 times 3 squared is 9. 4 plus 10 is x to the 14th. 9 squared is 81. And 2 plus 16 is y to the 18th. I know negative 1 times 9 is negative 9. I know that 9 goes into negative 9 negative 1 time. That's going to, if I divide this by 9, I'll get negative x to the 14th. Because the negative has to stay. Divide that by 9, I get a 9, y to the 18th. Sorry, that doesn't look like an exponent very much. Another way I could just think about this is if I didn't multiply, I could simplify this 9 divided by 9 as 1. 81 divided by 9 is 9. So I have negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. I'm going to take away that coefficient. And here I am simplified at negative x to the 14th over 9y to the 18th. Thanks so much for watching these try-it problems.